think she said she can see some of it. We're not going to do the whole thing now. Okay. And,
Okay.
but we have to understand right now the why, because we have wellness programs. We have, go get some smoothies at a discount. We have, here's some coupons to Salad Works. And then you have a whole stack of those things sitting on the desk because nobody even grab them because nobody is going to Salad Work. We're going to Chick-fil-A. And so we got to understand why. Why is this thing of self-care so important? And we're going to get into that a little bit. So P, if you can pop up the next slide, I appreciate it. Thank you, man. Yeah. Next slide. So our focus today is going to deliver content and insight and Q&A. That's pretty much the lion's share of what we're going to do today. Okay. So here's a question I have for you. If you were given, think about this, okay, an expensive car as a gift, how would you treat it? All right. Think about it. Somebody gave you a Lamborghini or, Rolls Royce. And first of all, I would say you have some really good friends.
Exactly. Or family members. Inheritance.
And I need friends like that. You know what I mean? How would you treat this thing? Now, let me ask you a couple questions. Would you take, and you can type in the chat feature, and keep in mind we're training, so roll with me. There's method behind this madness. Just think about it. How would you treat it? Would you take it to the convenience store and put regular gas in?
Would you put gas in that? Look at that one.
Regular gas from a convenience store.
Look at that.
Yeah, there you go. Would you do that? Would you, somebody said, I treat it like my child. That's right, treat it.
Treat it with care.
I wouldn't have said, that's right. What if you came out, we had a nice restaurant, went out to dinner with somebody that you love dearly, and y'all went to dinner and it was nice and it was enjoyable. You came out of dinner and somebody was sitting on your Lamborghini with their friend, chilling. What would you say to them? Like, are you crazy? Could you please get off my car? Yeah. So how would we treat it? Okay. Yeah. And so I'm looking at some of these. Somebody said, excuse me. That's the look. And you'll be excuse me with the side eye, right? That's you. Oh my goodness.
Would you be like this little girl right here? She's so cute. She said, I'm pulling out of the driveway just like this.
Somebody said, treat it like God's gift. That's right. That would be truly a blessing from God if somebody gave me a Lamborghini. So Pierre, if you feel like blessing me, man, I like mine in green, please.
Sure. Sounds good to me.
All right. So why am I asking this question? Before I go to the next slide, why do you think I'm asking this question? Anybody want to take a shot at it? Yep.
Can they come off mute?
Yeah, they can unmute themselves.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. You can unmute yourself and tell us why do you think we're asking this question? Or you can pop it in the chat feature too. Anybody want to take a shot at it?
Because do we consider ourselves, our bodies, a gift? And how do we treat it?
Boom. Next slide, Pete.
Boom.
You hit the home run.
There it is.
What about a $1 billion body?
Come on.
Think about it. What about a $1 billion body?
Man.
Oh my goodness. Think about that.
Wait a minute. Darryl, I want to jump in just for a second.
Please do.
Do you realize that every single one of us have $1 billion body, whether you like your body or not? It is $1 billion body.
It's the most valuable. Go ahead, P.
Really think about it. Like, you have $1 billion body. Why? Because it's yours.
Yeah.
It's yours.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have someone else's body. You have your body.
Mm-hmm.
There's only one body like you. It's something I always say, and I'm going to hand it right back over to you, Darryl.
Yeah.
Somebody always say, everybody show me your fingerprint. Everybody, show me your fingerprint. All right, good. Everybody show me your fingerprint. All right, now look at your fingerprint. What do you see? You see something that is only person that has that is you.
In the world.
In the world. Nobody before you, nobody coming after you will ever have that fingerprint.
Ever.
We can stop this training right now. I mean, that's it. Think about it. You're it. So you were born to do something special. Yep. You were born to solve problems, and you were given that $1 billion body to utilize it and take care of it.
I like what P.
Back over to you, Darryl.
Thank you, P. I appreciate that, man. And listen, I like what Karen says. Bills from bills for medical bills are so high, it costs $1 billion if something goes wrong. It shows you that the body is valuable.
Damn.
It's valuable, man. And what Pierre and I are communicating today, and we're probably the only people in the country communicating in this way, because most folks are saying drink smoothies, go to the gym, and
Protein
eat
shake.
salads.
Mhm.
That's all you hear. And people are like, I'm tired of that message. What I'm trying to show, what we are trying to show in our session is why we need to do some of these things. Because listen, I'm not going to take my Lamborghini to Jiffy Lube. I'm not.
Nope.
I'm not going to do that. I'm going to go and find me a specialty oil specialist that only puts oil in, expensive cars.
That's right.
That's who I'm going to take my car to. I'm not going to take my Lamborghini to, we have Wawa around here. Wawa's.
Mhm.
It's a convenience store. Even though Wawa's not a bad deal, they actually probably one of the better ones. Because I'm going to find a place that has a special blend for cars like that.
But even
What I'm trying to say is, when you realize how valuable you are, you're going to treat yourself just like that car. I'm going to take walks to the beach.
Yep.
I'm going to go to the gym. I'm going to consider what I'm going to eat. Why? Because I'm walking around with something valuable. P, you have anything to share with that? Anything add-ons, man? Because
absolutely.
you're right. We can be stuck right here for a while because this is our message. This is our theme with self-care. This is why I start teaching it. We start seeing all these folks come out of the pandemic, ill, sick, challenges, stress, depression, trauma. The teen suicide rate is through the roof right now. And you look at this stuff and what is going on? Because people are stressed. People are burnt out.
Yep.
People are tired. And our session is designed to give energy to
Yep.
those of you who give out energy every day. That's why our theme is simply with workforce development. We empower those who empower.
So here's a big note for everybody to take. And we talk about car and we use the car as an analogy to your body. So let's think about it.
Mm-hmm.
What do we have here?
Mm.
Let's see if I can move this slide. Detox.
Mm-hmm.
How many of us, we have 4 quarters in a year. Here's something I recommend to everybody. You should detox
Mm-hmm.
at least 4 times in a year, or maybe 2 times in a year. Detox your body. We take care of our car. We do oil changes, right?
Mm-hmm.
Let's think about it. Really think about all the junk that we put in as though we're healthy and but we still eat a little bad stuff every now and then, but we need to detox. And the way you detox is maybe eating vegetables and doing some herbs that'll detox your body. But then also detoxifying your body is when you exercise and when you sweat, even if you walk, even if it's a small brisk walk, that's detoxifying your body. There's something else I want to recommend. There's a brush that you can detox. You can just brush your dry brush and brush your skin. I know for men, we kind of, but hey, do it anyway.
Yeah.
I do it.
Listen,
ladies know about this, but
I
some
do
men
too.
don't necessarily know about it. It's called a dry brush. You want to
I exfoliate all the time. That's
exfoliate and detox the largest organ in your body,
It's just
on your body, is your skin.
skin.
Think about that, everybody. Take note. This is huge. And if you do these simple things, you can move your lymph nodes, you can do under here with the brush and things of that nature. So that's the only one thing I wanted to pop in there. So let's go ahead, Daryl.
So before we go to this slide, I just want to say that just to chime in on Pierre's thing, because this is our last session with you. I'm going to encourage you to take notes, okay?
Yeah, please
take
do.
notes, because we have researched what we're telling you to the nth degree.
And we use it.
We use it every single day. That's why I was shocked with this. I said, where did this come from? And the only conclusion had to be the COVID thing or a super long flight I was on to the Mediterranean. I don't know, but there's nothing in my makeup that should denote a clot in my leg. That's why it was shocking, because I don't live that kind of life. I don't do, not to say that people who get them,
Right.
all messed up lives, because matter of fact, they're actually saying some athletes get them because athletes train in certain ways. So it could be that, I don't know. But the point I'm making is that this is so important because of your health and your well-being. That detoxing, I got to do more of that myself because I don't do that enough. But I eat a lot of foods that almost naturally detox. I do avocados. I'm big on blueberries, things like that. that help, I keep blueberries with me. That's my sugar. Like if I want to eat something sweet, I go pop a handful of blueberries, or something like that, or some grapes. Grapes, you gotta be careful because there's a lot of sugar in grapes, but things like that. So self-care, why self-care? Let me say this real quick too, but I'm gonna hit this first point. I'm on to about 9:50 and Pierre's gonna take over because I gotta go do something else and I'll be back.
Yep.
So Pierre's gonna be running the show and then he's gonna give you a break at 10:30 and then I'll be back on around 11:30. All right, because I know we go to 12:30, I believe. I believe that's the time. So why self-care? One, it was rarely or never a topic of discussion during our childhood. How many of you had mom and dads that say to you, and I'm smiling when I say this, won't you go do a little self-care, baby?
Never. Go outside and play.
Come on, y'all, you can smile. Come on, don't be so serious, y'all. Give me a little smile emoji if you know what I'm talking about. What mom or dad, son, I love you dearly, son. You need to go out there and do a little self-care today. Doing my dad voice, right? They don't do that. Matter of fact, chances are never. Our parents didn't do self-care.
Yeah,
They were working. They were working. They were paying the bills. They were paying the mortgage. They were paying for school. Self-care. What are you talking about? So this is why another thing besides the why, we focus on mindset. Please write that down. Mindset. Because we have to shift. Remember, we talked the last time about Dr. Carol Dweck's growth mindset and fixed mindset. We have to shift over to a growth mindset. And that's with everything in life. And I would encourage you to read that book. Several of my customers are actually doing book studies. I'm going to talk to Kimball. Y'all should do a book study on Dr. Dweck's book, Mindset. It's powerful. Because the growth mindset says, what can I do differently to produce the outcome I want? The fixed mindset says, this is just the way it is. You see, we have been mentally positioned to think about others more than self. So we grow up again. Here's the upbringing. Be good to people. So make sure you got that good character and make sure, we hear that all the time.
Be humble, be humble.
Be humble, be humble. Make sure, and we take pride in, oh my goodness. But the reality is that we've been so taught and trained on others so much, helping others, being a blessing to others, which is not bad. Okay, no. I'm not saying it's a bad thing because it's good to be good to people. But you don't hear many people saying, you know what? Be good to yourself.
Right. Take care of yourself.
Take care of you. You know what I mean?
When you go on the plane.
Yeah, what's that?
When you go on the plane.
When you go on the plane, they tell you buckle up and all that. So our bodies are just like cars. We need gas in order for it to get to our destination. If not, it stalls. Okay. So that real expensive car that I shared just a few moments ago, don't try driving that car with no gas. Anybody want to tell me where that car going? That car going where?
Fast ticket to nowhere.
It's going to sit in your driveway and look pretty. People are going to come visit you and say, oh, that car been sitting here for like the last 5 months. Yeah, I put no gas in it. And guess what? That's how we are. We wonder why we're stressed. We wonder why we have no energy. We wonder why we forget things. We wonder why this and this, that. Why? Because we haven't even had time to decompress. We don't take the time. And let me say this. I want you to be really clear on this. I ain't talking about taking vacations every 2 weeks. That's not what I'm talking about. It's the little itty bitty things we do on a consistent basis that gives us fill-ups all the time. We fill up all the time. For me, it's like we got a little lake near where I live. I go out there and my son got me into walking sticks. And my son is like an old guru. I don't know what he is. Daryl walks around like, old man, got him a big stick and he walks. And P loves me so much, he went and got dad one.
Oh my God. I can't believe
so we're walking around the lake with this big old stick. That is so peaceful.
Yeah.
That's peaceful. You see what I'm saying? So when I do that, guess what I do? Fill up my tank.
Yep.
It's not the big things. And this is important. When we pour into ourselves, we are prepared to equip. We are prepared and equipped to pour into others. You listen, write this down as a workforce development person in this field. It doesn't matter if you're in the trenches with the clients or if you're just support staff or whatever it is. I cannot fill up others from an empty tank. Please write that down. I cannot fill up others from an empty tank.
That's like something that you should have like on a sticky by your desk. Yeah, that just looks like this seems like one of those quotes that you should have in front of you at all times. Like
all times.
Like we're not others.
Yeah, We can't, I can't, listen, let's check this out. If you go to the gas station, you take that gas, feel like I'm doing a lot with cars, but it's so important. And you put it into the car, to put the gas in, and right, the gas tank. But there's nothing in that gas tank, you can hit that button and nothing's gonna go in.
Mhm.
So you can sit there and you'll say, why is that thing not moving? Because that's empty. So empty can't fill up empty.
That's right.
So these are nuggets, man. I'll be writing like crazy if I were you over there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
true.
Empty cannot fill up empty. Only full can. You see, if I wish I would have illustration with a jar. I take an empty jar and I have an empty glass and try to pour, and you can see like ain't nothing going there. But then I take that water, put it in the jar, boom. So self-care is not selfish, but you know what? It's okay to be a little selfish when it comes to self-care.
Mhm.
All right. So we got these pillars. I'm a big believer of systems. Remember I said before, we don't rise to the level of our goals. We fall to the level of our systems. So when you talk about self-care, people, it's important to understand. Coach D can be here projecting a lot of energy. So can Pierre. All right. Others as well. But the reality is this. The reality is this. Unless you make a system out of it, this will be a good training. And that's about as far as it will go.
That's right.
This is for you. When I do these things, I'm not doing it for coach. I don't. I do these because I'm doing it to give people a piece of information that could be beneficial to them in their careers and their life. This is not just about work. This is home. You know, go home, we snap at our kids because we're stressed, or something, relational issues happens because we're stressed. All this stuff ends up putting us in a mode where even basic communications become difficult sometimes. I'm not saying all the time, but sometimes. So we need to have a system. So our systems, and we're not going to go into this today, but I just want to give you something to think about. One is awareness. Pierre, talk to everyone about why it's important to be aware that I need self-care from your perspective.
Well, it's important to be aware. If you just go back to the example of what Coach D just said, he was at the doctor and the doctor said, no, I don't want to give you a script for getting this checkup. And he was aware enough, he was self-aware enough to say, you know what, I know my body. He knew himself. And every single one of us, we got that $1 billion body. You know your body. No one else has your body. So he had enough awareness to have the confidence to tell them, hey, look, you know what? I really need to get another test. And thank God he did. And it's because of awareness.
Yep.
You know, awareness is not just talking. It's awareness is what you feel, what you sense, using your intuition, understanding you. You have to know you. And that's where awareness sits.
Absolutely. And so it's almost like an awakening. Can I put it that way? It's like, man, okay, I'm aware, I'm open up. Like sometimes we do things differently in life because we become aware of situations. We may hear about some kids that were, molested in Ghana. I'm just throwing that out there. And you're like, oh my God, I got to do something. So I volunteered to go over there to assist. Why? Prior to, I didn't even know it existed.
Right.
I didn't even know it existed. But once I become aware, they're like, oh my God, like when my daughter started her nonprofit to help orphans in Nairobi, I didn't realize Kenya was the #1 orphan nation in the world, 375,000 orphans. When I found that out, I said, Sophia, I'm going over there with you. And there were some months prior to the pandemic, my family and I would go for the entire month of September and just volunteer to work with those kids in those communities in Kenya because I became aware. For a bunch of years, I wasn't aware. So awareness is this understanding, it's an enlightening. Then acceptance, okay, I'm aware of it. Now the acceptance is I'm going to embrace it as my own. I'm going to say, I got this. I see this, I got it, I understand it's here. Now acceptance is, I got this. Like if I take this cell phone and stick it through here and say, grab it, your acceptance is you grab it and take it. Now I have it. You see? But fortunately, I don't have technology where I can slip this through here, so you can't have myself, you can't have my
Another part of acceptance, and we're going to move on to the next one, but another part of acceptance is we drop the seed of detox. So you walk away now thinking about, some of you may have heard of detox, may have done detox before in the past. Now you're like, you know what? Wow, now I'm aware of detox again. Or I never thought about detoxing, because we use the analogy of a car. You have to put gas in your car. You have to get an oil change. Guess what? That $1 billion body
Yep.
It needs
Yeah,
some
man.
oil change too.
It
That's
needs
the
some oil change. That's an acceptance. So I need to do something.
And
Now,
there-
let's backtrack for a few moments.
Sure.
Everything we are sharing with you, and this is about the best we can do, is a suggestion.
Yes. 100%.
Please understand that. What we do with these suggestions is up to us.
That's right.
We're just trying to create believe me, we're on a mission too. We have some things about to come out. You're going to be amazed what you're going to see. We're on a national mission for self-care.
That's
And we're
right.
about to take it national. Because I realize that this is one of the keys to minimize depression, to minimize stress, minimize people's minds becoming challenging and toxic, culture within organizations, cultures within schools. I believe that all of this is tied into people's ability to have a sense of significance through self-care. I believe with all my heart. That's just my own. And then we have to do action. What's my plan now? You know what I mean? What are the 3 or 4 things that I'm going to do? Can I say this again? We're not talking about doing everything at one time. What's one little thing we're going to do to move the needle? Next one, Pete. This one is probably, of all the 4, this one right here is the glue. It's accountability. See, Pierre and I keep moving the needle in life because we're accountable to one another.
That's right.
See, let's say nobody rises to low expectations.
That's
And
right.
so we don't lower our expectations. So we realize that we know what we want to accomplish and we have to hold ourselves accountable to it. Like this presentation you have today, we worked at it. We've done this before, but we don't even take what we did last week and say it's good enough. We worked and make some tweaks. I give Pierre a lot of credit for this, and to make it as best. Why? Because when we step up here to deliver to you, we want to deliver a good product. So we hold each other accountable to create the best presentation that we possibly can that makes sense to our customers. But I'm not doing this on my own. This ain't just Coach D. This is not just Pierre doing it on his own. We do it collectively. So accountability, and one thing I would say, I'm going to talk to you and I'm talking to Kimball and others about it, Evelyn, is I'm big on think tanks. You need to have some coaching and some think tanks. You have to have, if it's 4 or 5 people within Workforce Alliance that I'm meeting with monthly to talk about self-care, that's accountability. That's accountability. Next slide. All right, breakout room. And when you come out of this breakout room, it's going to be you and Pierre because I have to run.
Yeah.
So with that being said, Pierre, what I'm going to do right now,
If everyone could take a picture of this or
Yeah.
screenshot this, because this is what you're going to talk about in the breakout room we're going to give you 10 minutes in the break.